Hey, what's going on? This is Jason. I'm going to quickly go over a newer feature that's been added to Dialogflow. The Dialogflow is a conversational user interface platform called Knowledge, and it's in beta. What I have here is a new bot that I just created. Once I have the bot created, I'm going to go over to settings, and I'm going to ensure that I turn on the beta features. Go ahead and save that. Let's say done. Now I'm going to come over to knowledge and I'm going to go ahead and create a knowledge base. This will connect the agent with the capacity to answer queries based on predetermined sources from websites, I believe CSV files. I don't know what knowledge base articles are. I haven't read the documentation on knowledge base articles yet, but I'm going to go ahead and say create knowledge base. And it's going to be, do one on Python. And from here, I haven't really messed with responses and fulfillments, but I do know I need to create a knowledge document. So I'm going to go ahead and say create first one. I'm going to enter the document name. What do we have here? Knowledge type is going to be FAQ. I'm interested to mess with the knowledge base article, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. If anybody knows how that works, I'd be more than happy to hear about that. Text HTML means I'm going to actually go out to a website for this FAQ. You could have it in text CSV. If it's text CSV, it needs to be either uploaded to cloud storage or you can upload it from your computer. I haven't really messed around with this feature, but I'm going to go ahead and use text HTML. Now I need to connect it to a URL. I'm going to go ahead and pull. I'm going to go ahead and use Python. So I'm going to go ahead with the general Python questions. Go ahead and say create. It says it's working. I believe there's a spider or some sort of scraping that's going on in the background to actually scrape this site. So now I have general questions. So now I could hook it up with, out the gate with my welcome intent. I can have some questions that I can prompt the user to ask. But let's say we want to know what is Python, and nothing's available. So let's try it again. Oh, so I just realized what the problem was. I need to go ahead and say response. I believe save knowledge.answer one. I could add some additional response with this. So now let's try it.
Jordan with 2 seconds to go. Puts it up. It's good at the buzzer. Michael Jordan has won it for Chicago.
There we go. Now this is a little bit long, so I think this would be better for a voice user interface versus a text, but who knows? So now we have this built, but I'm going to go ahead and add to it and go ahead and say new document. Let's say also an FAQ, HTML, CSV, URL. Go ahead and go over here, get our URL. Create. Now, ideally, we don't know what the questions are in these different FAQs. So there would be something within the conversational, in my opinion, there would be something within the conversational flow that would prompt the user for certain type of questions to make sure that we have these questions that these questions can be answered within the FAQ. So I'm going to do one more. Let's go ahead and use design and history. While it's thinking, let's just go ahead and find a question. Let's take this question. Go ahead and copy it. We have these different documents saved within the Python knowledge base. So I'm gonna go ahead and go ahead and paste that question. I'm gonna go ahead and change it just a little bit. I'm gonna say my memory. Let's see if it matched it. And sure enough, it did. There we go. So it knows, using algorithms on the back end. You don't have to be specific, or not specific. What's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't have to be the exact same question. It just has to match a similar intent, I believe. I don't know what all these mean. But let's go back to general Python, or the general questions for Python. Let's try another question. Let's say, is Python stable? So we have this question down here. How stable is Python? Let's say, is it stable? I can't do that yet. And so if we go to this question, sure enough, it's matched. Even though I didn't specifically say the same thing, is Python stable gets the same response as how stable is Python. So I haven't written a single intent. What I would do from intents is probably have some questions that I would prompt an end user to ask, since we don't know all the questions on this page. So I'd probably actually break it out to general, design, programming, and from there I'd have some questions that I might prompt the end user to ask. And so from here, I can go ahead to integrations, turn this on. I can create a phone gateway. Go ahead and launch my web demo. Just like that, I have my conversational user interface that now is able to query questions from Python's FAQ sections. And all that was done in less than 10 minutes. Hey, I was going to end my video, but I wanted to circle back and talk about a use case for this experiment. And so if I'm a small business, this is a restaurant that's here in Denver, but if I'm a small business, I can have an FAQ page and have a conversational interface that can answer questions on my behalf. If I take a look at the integration for Dialogflow, I can have a conversational user interface on my Facebook page. I can assign a number to this particular agent. I can sync it with Twitter, Skype. I can even dump it out and have it or somehow integrate it with Amazon Alexa, as well as Google Assistant and Google Home, so that if a client or a potential customer or a customer has questions about our restaurant, or even another small business like a laundromat, pretty much any small business we can think of that would have an FAQ section on their website, this would apply to. They can use Dialogflow to help answer customers' questions. You know what I want to do? I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more functionality to this particular agent. So 720 for Colorado. Let's go ahead and create that number. All right, so now we have a number.
Good day. What can I do for you today?
What is Python?
Python is an interpreted, interactive, object-oriented programming language. It incorporates modules, exceptions, dynamic typing, very high-level dynamic data types, and classes. Python combines remarkable power with very clear syntax to many system calls and libraries.
So I'll cut that short. I don't, for the sake of the video. But if I am not able to get to my phone, and I'm a small mom and pop business, I always have somebody who can answer my phone on my behalf and answer basic questions that a customer might have. So that's all I wanted to add. I wanted to add the use case for this particular experiment.